Hello. This way nobody gets the black spot of death. And I could drink my chemically laden beverage without having to worry about anybody catching, I don't know, proximity cancer from seeing me drink my delicious and sugar-free beverage. So we've been down this road before. We're going to go down it again, though, because apparently people have a problem with it. And that road is statutory construction, how to determine or how to read a statute. Number one, if a word has a definition located in the section, that specific statute, if it has a definition embedded in it for a word, then you have to use that specific definition for that section. There may be a million different other ways to interpret that word, but you have to use that specific word for that specific section. For example, if you look up Merriam-Webster dictionary, if you look up installation, it will say a military camp or base or fort. But Merriam-Webster's is useless in determining what an installation means for 18 U.S.C. 795, because 18 U.S.C. 795 says the president gets to define what installation means. And the president defines it in Executive Order 10104. So every other definition of the word installation that you could think of is fucking meaningless. You could write it on toilet paper and wipe your ass with it. It means less than Granite State's marriage certificate. If the definition of a word is not located in the section, then you look at the chapter. If it's not located at the chapter, then you look at the code to see if it's located somewhere in the base of the code. Usually they have definitions at the beginning of a code section if they're going to be using the same definition over and over again. If it's not at the base of the code, then you use the general definition of the word. You go to any random dictionary and you crack it open, and if it makes sense to use it in the statute, if it makes sense to use that particular definition in the statute, there you go. That's now the definition. But of course, we stopped at the section because we had a definition in the section. The definition of installation is whatever the president defines it as. Bada boom, bada bing, we're done. President defines it as, and this is essentially another statute. I know it's an executive order, but the rules of interpretation for it are identical. You use the common meaning of all the words, unless a different definition is provided. And it is literally a definition of the word installation. A vital military installation is installation or equipment, I'm going off memory now, that's been designated by the president or somebody he's appointed as top secret, secret, classified, or restricted, and is located within a fort, base, yard, area, camp, whatever. So that brings us to our next point. Our next point is you have to read statutes and executive orders in such a way as to give effect to all of the words in the statute. You can't assume that there are superfluous words. If we take the definition of installation from Merriam-Webster, then what we would be saying is an installation is something that's designated as top secret, secret, classified, or restricted, and is located within an installation. An installation is located within an installation. That's meaningless. That's stupid. It takes away all of the meaningfulness of that list of potential places for an installation to be located. So just interpreting this from a basic statutory interpretation perspective means that Fort Huachuca is not a vital military installation as far as 18 U.S.C. 795 is concerned. If you take the generic use of the word installation, then one could argue that every camp, base, fort, yard, station, whatever, by the military is vital. If they didn't deem it vital, then they would have closed it. Every base, fort, camp, station, yard contains materials, things that are top secret, secret, classified, or restricted. Fort Huachuca is not different in that regards. People are not vital military equipment or installations. You don't install people. They're not equipment. I don't know that any particular person has ever been designated top secret. That would be weird. They might have top secret clearance, but I don't believe any person has ever been designated top secret, secret, classified, or restricted. I would love to see something otherwise. I've been asked if there's a list of all the vital military installations or everything that the president has marked top secret, secret, classified, or restricted. No, they don't disseminate lists like that. That's fucking stupid. So then the question you should ask, and I doubt you will, but the question you should ask is, well, what are the First Amendment ramifications of this? And actually, to be fair, Eric the Fatid asked me that. Kind of. Eric the Fatid's question was, if somebody finds a top secret document laying face up in public on a public sidewalk, not on a base, would a random passerby have an obligation to not film it or not disseminate it? And the answer to that question is no. It would not have that obligation. It would not be a crime to film it. And we have to go back to First Amendment analysis. Always go back to First Amendment analysis. In order for a complete restriction on speech in public to comport with the First Amendment, it either has to be a time, place, and manner restriction, which that would not be, or it has to pass strict scrutiny. Now, 18 U.S.C. 795 passes strict scrutiny because a random person can't just accidentally film an installation. You got to go onto a military base, essentially, or be really close to it, I guess. You've got to film past walls. You've got to film past guards. You've got to film past signs that say top secret. There are protections in place to prevent your average random person from mistakenly filming a top secret or a vital military installation. And Fort Huachuca, again, is not a vital military installation as far as 18 U.S.C. 795 is concerned. I want to reiterate that for the millionth time. Imagine, if you will, the effect that it would have on like the people who watch planes, plane watchers. If you're filming and an experimental fighter plane goes overhead and you catch it on film, well, you didn't know that you were going to be filming a top secret plane, did you? You weren't at an airbase. You were just out in public filming. You had no notice that before you filmed that particular section of the sky at that particular time of day, that you would be filming a vital military installation or equipment. So you didn't get the base commander's permission ahead of time. It would make it impossible for the average person to know what they were filming. It is not the least restrictive, because you got to remember, in the strict scrutiny analysis, it has to be a vital government interest, and it has to be the least restrictive way of achieving that vital government interest. The vital government interest is not to have their top secret stuff filmed. And the least restrictive way on your First Amendment rights to do that is to keep that shit deep inside of a base, surrounded by walls and armed guards and other military members who could defend that vital military installation from your prying camera. That is the least restrictive way of doing it. And then you might also run into void for vagueness or overbreadth or arbitrary and capriciousness if, for example, thousands of cars go by that base every day with their dash cams on, and they are not hauled in for violations of 18 USC 795, but James is. They film that fucking gate. Intent to film a vital military installation isn't the key. It's the intent to point a camera or something to capture an image of something, whether or not you know it's a vital military installation or not. If you intended to film it, you're guilty of the crime. Whatever that thing is. You intended to take a picture. I didn't know it was a vital military installation. That, too bad. Too fucking bad. You violated that particular statute. Did you intend to have your dash cam on? Yes, I did. My dash cam turns on every time I turn the car on. So you intended to have the dash cam on, and you drove by this gate, Buffalo Soldier Gate. Congratulations. You have violated 18 USC 795. Oh, wait, we're not going to do it to you. We're just going to do it to James Freeman because we don't like him. Arbitrary and capricious. Done. Does everybody have a list of what the top secret and secret bullshit is? No? Well, then it's void for vagueness. Unless in the actual application of it, by keeping it on base and keeping it under control, the government makes it clear what is and isn't top secret, secret, confidential, or restricted. So I hope that helps. This is not, I don't know why the government is bringing this case against James other than he's an asshole and they don't like him because he's an asshole. Other than that, I don't know why they're bringing this case. I honest to God don't. I know I'm just a first-year family law attorney. I know I'll always just be a first-year family law attorney. But for the life of me, reading the fucking statute, it makes no goddamn sense why the government would be bringing this, except to punish James for being an asshole. He's already spent $10,000 plus. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. There are First Amendment concerns if you broaden 18 USC 795 out to the point where a base by itself, open to being viewed or photographed by the public, becomes a vital military installation for purposes of 18 USC 795. I hope that makes sense, that there is a First Amendment issue with that. And I hope it also makes sense that the statute itself is written in such a way that that particular interpretation doesn't make sense. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.